K-pop recap. I think number 7. Doesn't matter anyway. Let's go right into it with Billy Ring Ring. Ring a Ring, I assume. Pretty good. Actually, I like it. Very good chorus, fun to listen to. I think they are a rookie group, if I remember correctly. They also dropped a project. I definitely have to listen to it. But I think for, whether it's a debut or a first comeback, I think it's very, very good. And they're one of these groups that, again, I'm happy to see interesting groups coming out this year, and they add themselves to that list as well. Needs You with Chopsticks, one of my favorite songs of the year. Love the lyrics, fun, cute, bright. The chorus is great, the vocals are very good. It's catchy, it sticks in your head, and very good by Needs You, who keeps being huge in Japan, keeps being huge in Korea. Not so big again with the Western fanbase, not surprised, because it doesn't really match with the type of thing I think most Western fans like, but definitely one of the best songs of the year in my opinion. Hands down the best song of November. Well, maybe not the best, but definitely top 3. Next we have Wanos with Luna, and I love this song. It's been sometimes since I like the Wanos track this much, especially a single, and I love this Luna track. Fun, great chorus, great vocals. I love the production even though it's very simple. It's nothing original, but I think it really fits well with the concept they're going for and for the vibe. The pre-chorus also is really, really well done. B.I. with Cosmos. Not the biggest fan of this song personally. It's not bad. It's just overly sentimental and overly I think polished for someone like B.I. in my opinion, but it's not bad. But obviously he has again branched to do different things and not put himself in a box. I completely understand that. I don't have an issue with it, but out of the things that B.I. has released as individual songs, it's probably my least favorite. But again, it's not a bad track. Next we have Changmo with Hourglass. This is more of a classic pop / ballad Korean track by rapper Changmo. It's not bad by any means, don't get me wrong. I don't think it's well put or anything. It's just that I find it to be so out of character from him. That just feels like if he doesn't feel particularly comfortable on it. Normally when you hear him on other tracks, he feels very comfortable, he feels himself. Here it's good, again, good production, good lyrics and everything, but to me it's just uninteresting and I'll probably never listen to it ever again. Next we have a debut from Emily May, also known as Emily Ghoul on the internet, featuring Sword and Amber Liu with My Domain. And this is her first song she ever released. I can tell you I enjoy it. It's nothing amazing, but I think she does enough of a good job. The production is pretty good. Not the biggest fan of the drop, but it's definitely better than other drops I've heard this year. Sorn is okay, Amber is okay. Again, I'm not blown away by it, but I think for a debut, it's pretty solid in my opinion. Good job by her. Next we have Ash Island with Poison. I assume this is a song for a movie, because it looks like an MV for a movie, but it's nothing amazing. I enjoyed. Again, Ash Island for me is very hit or miss, but again, I don't love the autotune. I feel like he puts so much autotune on his voice for no reason half of the time. I don't think that's smart, because he has a good voice, but I understand why he does it. That's probably how he feels like people recognize him and his sound, especially for his fans, and I get it, but it's okay, nothing special to me. Next we have Monsta X with one of the best comics of the year, Rush Hour. Sean is on the military. I'm pretty sure a bunch of other guys from the group will join eventually. But Rush Hour is really good. And I love to see Juhan being more of the center of the group, so to speak, Has a lot of parts, love the outfits, love the aesthetics. The production is pretty good. This really reminds me of a lot of 2016 Monsta X. I love it all over again, and it's pretty good. It feels fresh. There isn't a lot of vocals, just a straight up hip hop track in my opinion in many ways. Obviously fused with a lot of K-pop influence and other things, but I love it. Great. Juan again keeps being, in my opinion, one of the best Korean hip hop artists in Korea. Definitely the best idol rapper, but I think he's easily in that top tier group, even if we consider just Korean hip hop in general. Big Naughty featuring Jay from Day 6 with Stab. It's a good track. I think actually and he calls himself EAJ, but I assume it's just Jay. But I think Jay does a good job here. His vocals are very good. He adds a lot of flavor to the song. Big Naughty is okay. But again, when he does this type of track, to me it feels more like he's somewhat forced to do them, because Big Naughty, this is not his music. Like if you hear the project that he released this year specifically, or even last year, to be fair, they are way more they're way different than this. you know. And even though he does this type of music, sometimes I don't know, it feels to me like he's still trying to find himself. Obviously he's in a label, so you have to have these love songs, and you know, you're more of an idol image, even though I always have this idea that high-end music should be something different, because high-end music should be the opposite what AMG is. AMG is more of a label that one day will become like SM, JYP and these labels, right? But high-end music has to stay, in my opinion, like not necessarily a hip-hop label, but an R&B or pop, that's fine, but a label where at least artists are free to do whatever they want more artistically. And I just feel like Big Naughty here limits himself too much production-wise. His vocals are not particularly good, and the lyrics are very basic. But again, if you're a fan of Jay and Big Naughty, you're gonna love it. I just think that when I see him do stuff for Discover Korea, I think it was called like for Daegu, to represent his hometown, he puts a flavor, personality, like character, charisma, and great like, I think, you know, personality. In this one, it just feels okay. You could have put somebody else instead of Big Naughty. I think it would have been the same thing, unfortunately. Next we have Wiki Miki with Siesta. I just think this is a song that doesn't stick with me personally. It just feels kind of volatile. We needed an MV after a couple of years of not, after a year, I think maybe 2 even, of not releasing anything. So we're releasing this. It's okay. It really reminds me somewhat of not Girls Day, of G-Friend for whatever reason, maybe aesthetically in the music video, but apart from that, it's pretty boring. I would say out of these bunches, I think by far the worst. Maybe with Ash's Island song, and you know, and maybe you can put that also BI, even though I don't hate it. It's just that, again, it just feels like uninteresting. Everything that made Wakey Make It interesting is not in this song, in my opinion. Next, one of the best soloists in Korea, Asung with Electrified. Pretty good, love it, great vocals. I love his high notes, and there is not really much to say. Asung is one of the best, I think, idols in Korea, in my opinion. Definitely one of the best solo artists, not talked about enough, but love his music, and you should love it as well. Solhee, there is no English title, so I don't know what this song is called. I'm gonna check for it later. It's good, you know. I'm not the biggest Solhee fan, I don't listen to it, but it's well produced. The vocals are solid. There's no lyrics because it's SM Town, but yeah, it is what it is. Just Be with Try. This is more of, I think, in Just Be's like comfort zone, and I like it. Love the rapping here, love the aggressiveness. The production is just your average EDM pop type of shit, but the guys do a good enough job, in my opinion. Wasa, I'm a B. Great song. Definitely feels more of a continuation of what she's been doing the last couple of years. Aesthetically, she's not doing anything differently, or image wise, or even like production wise. She's really in that concept anyway. This feels more of like a continuation of what she's done individually in the past couple of years. Would have loved to see something a little bit different, but again, it's not a bad track by any means. It's extremely well produced, very good, very solid lyrics. I wouldn't say very good, but very solid. And obviously Wasa is one of the best voices in Korea, so nothing more to say. Next, one of my favorite tracks of the year, One Way with Star. Incredible vocals, and you know me, I'm not a fan of K-Rock, but this is the type of K-Rock I want to hear, because K-Rock, the problem with Day6 and CN Blonde, these groups, is they try too much to get things from like mainstream rock music, pop rock, whatever, that it doesn't really add anything to them. And while One Way doesn't do anything new, man, the vocals, the sadness, the sorrowfulness you hear from their voices is incredible, and the lyrics are pretty solid. Obviously they're somewhat ethereal, kind of like a lot of these K-Rock songs are, but they don't really mean anything, but they're still, you know, acceptable. But the vocals are great, and the fucking chorus is amazing. Just makes you wanna, like, it's like I can imagine myself driving in a car like at late at night, it's raining, and this song comes out, and it's just a great song. Nothing really more to say. Treidel, Tango featuring Kamo and Our Real Goat. Now I think Kamo is the woman and Real Goat is the other guy. Maybe it's vice versa, I don't know, but it's good. It's a good song by Treidel, very good vocals by everybody, pretty solid lyrics by everybody. I think the woman actually has the best lyrics out of the three in this group. Treidel is very good, but he's probably the least interesting part of this song. Production wise, it's okay, nothing special. I think this song is produced by Wei Chad, which I don't know who he is or who she is, but it's okay in general. Next, SF9, Trauma, very good. First time I heard this song, I wasn't a fan of it, because I didn't like how much drama was repeated and the way it was inserted in the track and certain like vocal and melodic decisions they were going for. But overall, it's pretty good. SF9 again is one of these very solid groups that, for one reason or another, they were never able to get that next level of success that other K-pop group were able to achieve. And again, the song has a couple million views, does pretty well, but I think for a group that has always, for me, been one of the most like interesting and underrated groups in Korea, for one reason or another, they've never been able to translate to the Western audience, even though they have everything that they love. Kind of sad, but that's somewhat the reality of the industry at this point, you know. Next we have B.I.G. Flashback. It's an okay track. Vocal is pretty good, but production is just quite average. I mean, it's a good track by Big, but I prefer other stuff they've done, personally. Sick at the Number with Dangerous in Love. Very good track. Dope production, very good chorus, and it just feels fresh, fun to listen to. And it's one of these songs that I personally can listen to on repeat for days. Ghost 9, Control. I hate this track. It's one of the worst of November, in my opinion, by far, and I think this is the worst track I think Ghost 9 has ever released as a single. It's not up to par, in my opinion, at all. It just feels so boring. Gao, Right Now. Good song, just feels quite average. Pop song in many ways, you know, but his vocals just carry this track in every possible ways, and the lyrics are pretty solid as well, but the production is very average EDM pop from 2014. Brooklyn, I'm Gonna Love You. I hate this track as well. Terrible production, pretty mediocre, I would say even sometimes bad vocals, and overall it just feels so bad. The guy feels he's not even interesting in this song half the time. Not good. Not good. Next we have another shit track, Tonight by Jung Woo Yok, ex-HOT member. By the way, he's 41 and he still makes these average ass trap songs that were popular 5 years ago. I'm not saying you should stop making music, but yeah, I mean, you should probably try change a little bit of his style, because it doesn't mean when you're 40 you can't make pop or trap music, you just have to do it good, and this is not good. But let's stop the negativity and let's get back to good songs with Gemini, UFO featuring Sorry. Dope vocals, pretty good lyrics. Sorry adds a very, very nice feature here, and Gemini is an artist that I've been really enjoying listening to. It's somebody that is growing on me and I definitely want to check more, you know, in years to come. Next we have Din Din featuring Jung Soo-won, To You. I like the fact that Din Din is doing the music that he likes. He's not forcing himself to be this type of rapper anymore. Like, he doesn't have that in him anymore. Like, he's in his 30s. He's kind of like sleepy. They're trying to be something a little bit different now in this time in age, but the song is okay. Din Din has decent vocals. Jung Soo-won has a nice feature. It's a cool love song. It's nothing crazy, you know, but I like the fact that Din Din at least is being honest to himself and not trying to be this rapper that, again, like I said, he doesn't have it in him anymore. Sesoneon with Joke. I like it. Quite different from they've been releasing in the last year or so, but it's not bad by any means. I love the vocals here. Pretty fun production. Not the most original thing ever. Like, personally, I could be wrong, but this reminds me a lot of Arctic Monkeys. But it's nice. You know, Sesoneon is one of my favorite K-rock groups, and it's just another good song by them. Not one of my favorites of November by any means. Next we have Billy, Flipping a Coin. Pretty good song. Probably my favorite Billy track, honestly, that I've heard so far. Very, very fun, bubbly, dope production. And yeah, Billy is one of the really, really exciting girl groups that I hope we're gonna have a great 2022. Banghyuk Race. Banghyuk of Yamakasi fame. It's okay. He hasn't released music in some time, but it just feels like he hasn't really grown at all throughout these years. Personally, it's a little bit different, maybe more like high in tempo from maybe what people expected, but overall it's, I would say, probably boring is the right way to describe it. Hyo, Designer. Boring. Super boring. Nothing really positive about it. Next we have Yoon Ji-young, My Love, featuring production by Benny Sings. I love this track. It's quirky, it's weird, it's original. I like the very minimalistic production. Her vocals are very soft, they're very sweet, and the lyrics are actually quite sad in many ways, right? It seems to be talking about this somewhat abusive relationship. either emotional. It seems more from an emotional standpoint than anything else, but there's still this love. She still loves this person, but obviously the relationship had a lot of negatives in it. And there's this fun video. The video also adds that kind of this weirdness aspect of the song, by them being this game and dancing to like fucking, like hard styles, slash tectonic music, like as if it is like 2010 all over again. It's very good. It's one of my favorites, and I've never heard of this woman, but she's pretty good, honestly. And she has a lot of personality and quirkiness. She's somewhat reminds me of what would be a good comparison. Actually, I can't think of one. Actually, I can't think of a comparison in Korea. Yeah, I can't. She's quite her own beast, which is interesting. Pink Fantasy. I don't know the name of the song because it's in Korean. Yay. But it's very dark, aggressive. I love the vocals here. I love how aggressive and how, low toned they sound. The song is fun to listen to, and I really enjoy it. Pink Fantasy is another group that I don't check out often, and I should probably check them out more. And we're gonna close November with Needs You. With Need You, this is their first more like ballad love track. It's not bad, but Chopstick is way better. This is just more of like your average J-pop track in many ways. And this was it for November. I would say overall it has been a pretty good month. Like if you ask me personally, there was a lot of variety, a lot of new different things, and while there were some lows, overall interesting stuff from a lot of groups in my opinion. The boys obviously have Leo, as we talked about. T1 did their thing. Obviously Monsta X, One Us, Twice, like Needs You, Billy. So there's been a lot of variety, and single artists did their thing as well, right? People like Eric Nam, people like Amber, Lee Ji-young, I think that's her name. Asung, like, overall, Wasa, of course. Overall, I think it has been a pretty good month. Nothing crazy though, I would say, because even though there's stuff that I really enjoy, if I look at these like 30-ish tracks, I feel like still August / September were the best months of in Kpop this year. Maybe you can argue early on in like February or March, where a lot of really good albums were coming out, but I still feel like, and there was moments during the summer, but this has probably been, in the last 6 months, probably the weakest month of the year, even though there's some pretty good highs. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time. Hopefully I'll upload a video. I want to make a video about BTS winning the Grammys and their chances of winning the Grammys. I want to make a video about Mnet and how they've dealt with this year's like performances and everything, and also predictions for 2022 in K-pop and what I expect from 2022 personally.